looks brilliant, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head, get you out of my head again.
Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Fools are calling me, but I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be why? Now that I need you, why? Just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat at time, I press the lens just to tell you, don't leave the way, don't leave the same. Then I try with a child playing the rain. I feel like I'm fading.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means.
Ladies and gentlemen, I demand your gratitude. Today we are doing the Bash in Berlin post show, and it's time for me to introduce the esteemed guests we have got here today. First up, she does not know how to drink wine, but ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Auntie Collins.
I love that. That's my claim to fame now. So thank you.
It will be for the anyway. Next up, happy character. Right, next up, she will be joining me tomorrow for an interview exclusive, knowing about her life, where she is, where she's going, and all the things in between. What people have got to say. Please welcome Kimmy.
Oh my god, that's me. I'm excited to be here. What a great intro. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
You put me off by going, oh my god, that's me. That put me off. Anyway, and ladies and gentlemen, he is the overlord of PLE. Your ring general, Bobby Money Manson.
Well, I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you very much. And hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
as requested by Mark to do that
trying.
intro. We get the thumbs up there. Hello, Astrid. Hey, everybody.
It
Let's
was
do it.
so good.
Astrid's in the house. We got to do it. Come on. Join me. Don't
Oh,
look
I got
down.
you.
There we go. Come on. All right. Now we're good. Yo,
That really hurt my throat, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. That really hurt.
Maybe
That
don't
really
hurt
did.
your throat.
No, there's a joke in that I'm not going to say on this early in the day for Americans. So we're going to carry on.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is gonna
Right,
be
now I'm going to sit down.
this is gonna be fun. So
It is
Fashion
going to be
Berlin.
fun, Bobby, because two of us just invited ourselves on here
Yeah.
for no reason.
that's how it works around here. That's how it works. Seriously, how do you think Mark ended up on all these shows? He just started inviting him.
Not his talent.
We loved
not
it,
his
didn't we?
charisma.
We loved it, didn't we? We loved Bobby for bringing us on because he knows that I am the one who brings the vibe, don't we? Yeah?
Well, you bring something. We'll see what it is by the end of this program here today.
Yes.
All right. Well, Bash in Berlin happened. WWE's Bash in Berlin happened. 5 matches that we need to talk about here today. And starting with the one that clearly is on the screen because I was told that Ed made this delightful setup here for us so that we can talk about matches over on this side. Well, on this side, showing you exactly who it is. So we start off with that championship match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. What a way to start a night. Auntie Collins, you're right there, so I'm going to go to you first. Your thoughts on this match?
Honestly, I wasn't as jazzed about this, right? Because it seemed a little rushed to get to this place, and but everything that Kevin Owens was saying was like, oh, that's correct. You have not had a championship. It wasn't, as beloved as it should have been. Very personal. Some of these back and forths were pretty personal. I obviously wrote my notes down.
We love a note taker.
We do.
I really like at the beginning of the show, it honestly was just soaking in the entire Uber arena, right? Uber arena.
Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uber.
And they started it off with a handshake, the code of honor. You know how much I love that. I needed it. It was just so perfect, so beautiful. There was, the typical moves that they do back and forth, the shoulder block and, an arm bar, whatever to start off the match, but it did not seem empty. And every answer each other came with, the crowd was on their feet. And I love a rowdy crowd. I love being a rowdy fan. So seeing that portrayed, we are seeing this all over all these Europe, all these Europe shows, and it's like really putting a lot of these US cities to shame. But honestly, going after Cody Rhodes' knee so that he can't really put in the crossroads was just so good. It is so good. It's so psychological, them back and forth. It was just so good. And having Cody Rhodes at the end be one-footed doing the crossroads to lock in the 3 count. That's why he's our champ.
Yep.
But I really liked it.
Solidified with another great title defense. I would be going to you next, Kimmy, but I heard you might have napped this one out. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Comments anyway. Okay. First
All
of all,
right,
Bobby
then. Let's
just
hear
put
it.
me on- Bobby just put me on blast. I was not prepared for that. I had a whole nice intro to Cody Rhodes saying that he's leading the press conference because Triple H is going to go see his daughter moving to college. So Cody Rhodes taking over his EVP duty. It's almost like he did that in an elite company a couple years ago. It's like he's been training his whole life for this. Anyway, I was shocked that they started the show with this match because I would have started with the mixed tag match because I was like, okay, they want to start the ground off running. What's probably the biggest pop of the night going to be besides Gunther? Rhea Ripley. Oh my God, right? So the crowd was red hot for Cody, Obvi. He was selling that knee injury that they're doing on he got hurt on the European tour, which obviously isn't true. They just needed something to spark this. Owens continued the story that he did not feel like he deserved this match as he was scared to hit some of his bigger moves. See, Bobby, I do pay attention. Isn't it
I know,
crazy? Thank you. Cody picked up the win clean, and then they embraced for a hug, another code of honor. But Owens didn't turn heel. I don't know if we're waiting for the first SmackDown on the USA Network to turn heel. I thought it was going to happen tonight. A little confused as to why it didn't. But yeah, I think Owens is going to turn heel, and we're going to see this match again at some point before 2024 ends.
Great prediction. Mark,
Thank you.
Going over your way there, sir. What'd you think?
Yeah, and I think it's solidified today that European crowds are better than any crowds that the US has ever done in existence. I think the US take it way too granted for
Thank
what
you.
they've got, and then they come over here, over to Europe, and people who you don't think should get loved, and everyone sort of we've always embraced everyone to a certain extent over here. So, but to see Kevin Owens get the flowers he deserves from the crowd and Cody Rhodes, the things that did slightly irritate me in this match, and I knew Cody Rhodes was going to retain. I knew he was going to move forward with it, and Kevin Owens. But it not irritating me. The thinking about it now, it was more of I get it now. Was Kevin Owens not doing the powerbomb, then not going after the knee? I was like, I want the NXT Kevin Owens. I don't care who's in my way. I'm going to annihilate you. But then I was thinking about it afterwards, and I was like, actually, it's a good idea because now you're going to slow build this. Because I do think the next opponent for Cody Rhodes will most probably be either Solo again or Roman, or it could be Randy Orton. I think they're going to go down that route. And I just think Kevin Owens... We know Kevin Owens is not going to get that world title because we know that at WrestleMania next year it is nearly locked in that it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. So we're not going to be getting Kevin Owens winning that title. But I do want to see Kevin Owens get that US title off LA Knight, the one that LA Knight loses it to. But it needs to be a slow build for Kevin to literally annihilate people for him to then be able to get it. But over that, Cody Rhodes being Cody Rhodes, just absolutely great in what he does, and KO now getting a character Triple H has given him to build on it moving forward, which is great to see for him as well.
Yeah, and very well said on the LA Knight business as well too, because I mean you're correct. I mean turning Kevin Owens heel and going after Cody, it sounds good in theory, but we know well that result's going to end. But if you tease the idea that he was about to go to that depth of maybe he's got too much of a tight knit closeness with Cody, but maybe LA Knight's the guy that irritates him just enough. LA Knight's got just enough of that arrogance to really piss KO off and turn him heel, and allowing for Kevin Owens to take that US title from him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to figure out how to change things here. Hold on.
You got it, Bobby.
Next match up for this one. Hold on. Here we go. What is it?
Go on, Bobby.
I don't think there's a picture for the next. Hold on here. I think we're missing one. I believe we might be missing one.
Edward, what have you done?
Hold on. Or are we? Oh, no. I just had to go further. I went to the wrong spot. My apologies.
Wow.
Let's be nice to Ed. Let's not throw him
Yay.
under the bus.
No, that's
There
always
we
be helpful
go.
to Ed.
Ed's
It's
got us
always be
covered
helpful to Ed.
always. There we go.
Never.
Thank you, Ed. But yes, we have got the women's WWE Tag Team Championship match up next. And I don't know. I have a feeling that there's going to be a consensus here that a lot of people wrote this off as does anyone really think this is going to be a solid match? I think a lot of people were proven wrong. I think they were proven wrong with every match on this card that in their own right had, great moments and stuff like that too. So I'm curious to know the thoughts. And Kimmy, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
Oh my god, thank you so much. So in my opinion, this was Jade's best performance in WWE. I think this was the first match she's had on a pay-per-view that shouldn't mess up, which is a miracle all to itself. You could tell she feels a lot more comfortable in the ring, and she was pulling off a lot of moves that she has not in the past. I do not think we were able to see Fyre and Dawn's full title reign. Like, I feel like we got gypped. They held the titles for 77 days, but how many defenses did we see of that? It just proved that literally they won the titles to get a hometown pop. There was not really any plans for them, which sucked because I think both of them are really talented, and I hope that they get to win the titles some point later on. But Cargill actually got the win for her team, and they hit this really cool like seesaw type move that I was like, oh my god, that was absolutely crazy. But yeah, Belair and Jade get the win, and glad to see that Bianca's going to continue to carry Jade until one of them turns heel on each other and we get the WrestleMania 41 matchup between the two of them.
Yep. And that's the perfect type of build, I think. Mark, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with Kimmy on one part. I don't agree with the other one, but I'm going to agree on one part. This is Jade Cargill's best match by a long distance, and you can tell that she's getting more and more confident, and she needs to be doing more of the live shows to get there to go in. I don't agree with the hometown pop thing. I think Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre are going to be one of those tag teams that are going to be slow burn them way to being the ultimate tag team. It's like one of those. They got it. They won it. Everything happened with Alba Fyre. Then somehow she got through everything with everything that happened to her personally. And then they got this building. Isla Dawn has impressed me more than Jade Cargill, because I remember watching Isla Dawn in NXT UK and she was god awful. The way that she was performing, the way that she carried herself, I was just like, God, please stop. At some points when I was watching her in NXT UK, but now I'm like, oh, you actually know who you are. You actually know what you want to do, and that's more impressive. And I think this loss is going to help them, because these two are going to turn on each other, Bianca and Jade. And I already have a guess who I think's going to turn first. And I think Bianca's going to be the one that turns on Jade, because it'll be more of a shock, because Bianca hasn't been, I don't think she's been a proper heel since NXT, if I'm right, or a proper way of doing things since then, until she got really over. And then it will go from there. And then when they do that split up, it will go back to them, and then the whole division will be created around those two. That's what I think is going to happen.
Fair, very fair assessment. Auntie Collins, your thoughts?
So, Kimmy and I did a preview, little predictions beforehand, and we talked, at length about how we felt about the women's tag division and Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre leading into this. And I'll be honest, I have thought that it's just been for that pop at Clash of the Castle. However, I watched that video package beforehand and seeing the character development, and I definitely agree with Mark that both of them have really come into their own with this championship, the tag championship, since they got it, having them featured more on TV. What do you know? They're coming into more of their character. Yes, they're learning the graps. Yes, they're learning, how to dress the same. I think that's like a huge pivotal moment with tag teams. It's not matching gears like where the Bella Twins or like, Lay Cool, when they would literally dress the same and you're like, okay, cool, that's fine. They do have their own personality in their gear and in the way they wrestle. I just, I was more so shocked and very pleasantly surprised how well they handled themselves during this match. I definitely wrote down more things.
Go for it.
I really liked how the champions, when the match first started, how they were very quick, fast, kind of more haphazardly, not as polished, which if a win is a win is a win, you surprise your very seasoned, wrestler of Bianca, who's been around the block a couple times, but, trying to get a fast one on Jade would be a really good strategy going into that. And I feel like that's what they tried to do at the beginning. And then they just started playing, 2-on-1 with Bianca. The moment that Jade got that hot tag, you could see that the crowd was really starting to get into this match, which surprised me because I remember sitting through women's tag matches 5 years ago with WWE, and it was just the crowds weren't into it. And I feel like the level has stepped up, the talent has stepped up, the appearance. I think we really have to acknowledge the appearance of women's wrestlers going into these matches, the way that they present themselves, not only their wrestling styles and gear, but even just their presentation of not hesitating, because that can lead to injury. And we've seen that quite a number of times with some of these women wrestlers. I do want to give an honorable mention to Bianca's braid because it kept being used against her in this manner. I love her braid. I think it is part of her persona. I like when she does change up, the braid, but it is her, lucky charm going into this, but it really was used against her in this match. There were a couple times where I feel like Jade did miss a couple beats. Maybe she was a little bit too distracted in the ring or not counting properly, which the more reps she gets in, the more ring awareness that she'll get. I really do like how Jade does clean house quickly with her opponents. There was that really big clothesline that I felt it in my chest watching it. And I felt, if I actually could, rewind it, I would have. That's such a millennial thing to say. If I could rewind it. But my Peacock doesn't let me do that. Every time I press rewind, it just goes back to live. So I guess I'll have to rewatch it again. But yeah, Kimmy mentioned that seesaw about, which I don't know what it's called. I was looking online what people were saying on Twitter and on Reddit, and they just called it a wheelbarrow suplex T combo. But there's no
the reason why they call it that is because in the WWE 2K24 game, or the 2K games before that, it's called the wheelbarrow suplex. I think it's called that, and it's one of the most annoying moves in the game. And I will say that now, but it is called that in the game, and I've never seen anyone in real life ever hit it until they did it. I think they did it a few times before, because they did it at Clash, but then Jade got thrown out of the ring, and then they pinned, and they've done it once or a couple of times before, but no one's called it a name yet.
No one's called it a name. I remember it at Clash, and I was like, oh, that looked like, I thought it looked like a mistake. This time it looked intentional. So it's like, okay, they've been putting reps on it. And I love that when I post things on Twitter, like, what is this seesaw thing? What is the name? And anyone and everyone will come in and be like, that's the finisher that they've been using for a very long time. I'm like, okay, they've used it like 4 times, and nobody has ever given it a name. Commentary just says, oh my gosh, look at that suplex. Oh my gosh, from a DD. And I'm like, what are you saying? Why doesn't your finisher have a name? Let's polish it off. Let's go get some creative juices going.
Well, they're going to probably go on Twitter and then ask Twitter, because that's what everyone does in the year 2024. Every wrestler goes on Twitter and asks, what should we call our finisher?
Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, if that's the way that you get your creative input, you might as well just use AI, because if you're gonna have such a cool finishing move, get a name for it. But that's good.
They should call it. Not that I've just been sitting here for 2 seconds trying to work out a name. They should call it the Cargill braid.
Ooh.
It's a shit name, and I don't know why I come up with it, but I thought of Bianca's braid, and her name. Literally the only reason.
Listen, if Taya Valkyrie can have Shania Payne, anything is possible.
True.
All right. So a couple things.
But
First of all,
like a woman.
first of all, dear NBC Peacock, add share mode to your service so that Auntie Collins can turn back time. And second of all, hello to Ed, who's just joined us in the house. Jade's best
Yay.
match leaves it bound. And I've seen just said it had to come at the Unholy Union's expense. And he also mentions don't use AI. That's how NXT renames their people. But yes, this match was quite solid. And again, like Jade's best performance, hands down, for sure, 100%. And that's great to see. My favorite thing too is that we aren't looking at two teams put together for the sake of having a tag team matchup. This is two tag teams, and that was what it was nice about watching this one. We were watching two tag teams unfold, and to the credit, yes, we know that the end game for Jade and Bianca is that inevitable breakup. But with the Unholy Union, we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, the beginning of that group. I mean, they could end up leading as the stars of a tag team division here for the women of the WWE moving forward, which would be great to see.
Can I make a suggestion to WWE?
Go right ahead, and just on the slim chance that they happen to tune in, you go right ahead.
Okay, so Triple H, I love you. Make sure WrestleMania comes to London, and I will yeet all over myself. That will be happening. But I want to see in Unholy Alliance, whatever they're called now. I would like Piper Niven to join that group because it gives me Alba Fyre or Kaylee Ray and Piper Niven in a same group together. That's it. That's the only reason. I want to see them two wrestle again at some point because what I saw when they were at Rev Pro, was it Rev Pro or no, ICW in Scotland, where they had that street fight and they literally nearly killed each other in that match. I want to see that again. I am yeeting. I will yeet all evening, young sir. But yeah, that's what I would like to see. That's my thinking. I want to see Piper Niven with them, please. Thank you.
Fair enough. And yes, Mark, no more eating. And it just wouldn't be a post show if we didn't do this to you at least once. And there he's back again.
I've climbed the ladder. I'm now one up than what I was before. Bollocks.
Don't jump the gun when I've got the controls there.
I know.
All right.
She said. No, only one person heard.
Four comments so far. The four.
Moving on to the strap match here. Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And against my better judgments, I'm actually going to let Mark go first for a change.
I'm so thankful. I do love a good strapping. This match was, and I will say this, it was so much better than what I was expecting. So much better. I was very worried they were going to go down, and I was worried that CM Punk wouldn't be able to do much, but I'm so happy he found a groove in this match, and he found a way of doing it, and I'm really happy that Drew was able to be the one to get it out of him. And as the Scottish guy, because he lost, he's Scottish. If he wins, he's British. So he lost, so he's Scottish. Guy do it, and it was good story. This was much better than their previous match with Seth friggin' Rollins, who did not need to be there whatsoever. But it was so much better than that match was before. The story was told brilliantly, and I loved this match. I thought it was brilliant. I like CM. Right, so CM Punk gets a hard time, rightly so, because he can be a massive bellend, and he is, and always will be. And Drew McIntyre is Scottish, so he's obviously a bellend. And two bellends together work really well. I just realised how that come out, and I didn't mean it to come out like that. And I just really like the way it's going. CM Punk looked comfortable and happy. Drew McIntyre did an excellent job. Both of those did brilliantly. And if I was Dave Meltzer, then I would make up a story and put it on the internet and then everyone believe it. But on the side of Dave Meltzer doing ratings, I would give this like a 4-star.
All right. All right. Next we'll go over to Kimmy.
Give it to Auntie Collins because she's not even paying attention.
No,
I think that's kind of why I went Kimmy's direction on that one.
no, I was sending memes.
See, I was looking at the camera. I was all
Funny.
ready. Well, Mark, I really hope that Meltzer's not making up that story about Daniel Garcia re-signing with AEW because I'm gonna be a very sad, sad little child. Anyway, this was the most extreme game of red light, green light I have ever seen.
You took the first line of my notes.
It was absolutely great. You know, we had Punk and Drew both hitting it at the same time. And you know, that's not really how you play red light, green light, but I give them an A for effort to trying to play a childhood game. And that was just for my clip. Okay, anyway, in all seriousness. It was so good. It was so good. And I'm glad everyone enjoyed it. That's why I'm here, guys. That's the only reason I'm here. So for the first time in 10 and a half,
Kimmy.
yes, make sure at 30 minutes, red light, green light. Someone write that in the Discord.
I'm on it, don't worry.
So for the first time in 10 and a half years, CM Punk gets a win in a WWE ring, which is insane because this man like reappeared almost a year ago and he finally won. We love an injury bug, Phil Brooks, everybody. So I also love that he wore the all-in gear from last year. I think that was fantastic. I was like, you know, a year anniversary of you walking out and coming back to he did. It was the same all-in gear from last year.
Oh my god.
And he got his bracelet back. It was a wonderful night in Berlin for CM Punk. I have a mixed feeling. I mean, this is very gimmicky, and I'm scared because Punk actually just said in an interview that he was like done with Drew McIntyre. And I said on our preview show that I wanted this to be the main event of Bad Blood in a Hell in a Cell match because now they need the rubber match. So I'm kind of nervous we're not going to get that now.
Yeah, but you got to remember, after the last match, Drew said, "I'm done with CM Punk."
But
He said exactly the same thing. They're doing the reverse psychology bollocks again.
I was a little nervous. I was like, you know, my whole booking for Bad Blood is going to go down the drain because CM Punk decides to like play me. But yeah. This match was okay. I would have rather seen like the dog collar instead if we had to choose. I thought the dog because I think Drew should have been busted open too. I mean, I think they're both gonna get color in Hell in a Cell, but I think Drew should have been busted open as well. Punk got his bracelet back. Great night for AJ and Larry. Good match. Good job.
Question
guys.
for you, Kimmy. Quick
Yes.
question. What was more extreme, this game of red light, green light, or the one in Squid Games?
I didn't watch Squid Games. So I guess
This is a
At least some of you've seen it.
I haven't.
Bobby or Auntie, please tell me you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen
Oh,
it.
okay.
Come on.
Oh,
I live my life around a television, mate. Come on, you know that.
See, Ed said it was overrated, so I guess I'm not missing much.
Oh, I know.
Ed, we might you might need to step into my office.
Yeah.
And Astrid said that she didn't like it.
Yeah, but to be fair,
I
she
didn't
likes
say
horror
that-
films, so-
I didn't say that I liked it. Like
I loved it.
I watched it and it just made me not want to ever be in that scenario ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a horrible
Great
person.
program,
I love
though.
watching
Really
violent
good.
shows.
Same.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, Bobby Stats. Bobby Stats in the house. Thanks for joining
If
us.
you like The Boys, you will like Squid Games.
Okay, The Boys makes it hard to watch sometimes. There is
Yeah.
but enough of that. Back to the wrestling because I see
Wrestling.
Andy Collins is just itching to talk about this match.
Oh, you know, if there was a competition for a CM Punk hater, I am the winner of that match. I am Miss Americana CM Punk hater. And I told Kimmy this morning. It's not because of who he is as a person, because I love who he is as a person, what he stands for, you know, the people that he advocates for. I love that he wants to like teach people and do all the things. I just think he goes about life how I would not. So it makes it difficult to enjoy his wrestling. So I love seeing him get his ass kicked all the time. However, this match starting before the bell even rang in the entrance with the brawling and being out and around and the crowd is roaring, rip roaring happiness. That was me. I was rip roaring happiness, scared the dogs, scared myself. It's such a great beginning of a match. And I know that this can be overplayed, especially in WWE where they, start the match outside of the ring before they actually start. But I think that there was a magic in the first match where the moment that the bell rang, the crowd is just, yeah. And then the other juxtapose where the match hasn't even started and they're outside of the ring and they're, yeah. I love fan interaction. That popped me. That was really great. Needless to say, the red light, green light, I immediately clocked it and I was like, those haven't been there this whole time. Right? They use that ad break in between to set up these things. And nobody explained to me which one the green one was
They did
for,
on
which one the red one was for.
They did on
Okay,
commentary.
but okay, wow. I must have not been listening to commentary. Shocked. Am I shocked that I'm not listening to commentary? And who is this? I don't know what's happening. And then the moment they went through a cycle, I went, oh, okay, that makes sense. Sir, would you like to make an appearance? Hi.
See, I reckon you missed it with the amount of notes you've written. You were probably writing your notes and then
that's very ism for me.
Pouring another wine with a couple of ice cubes.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't drink any wine because this show started for me so early in the morning. Early in the it was AM. Like I couldn't even order what I wanted from the restaurant that I wanted.
Did you order the eggs Benedict though? That you sent us a picture of? Yeah.
Hell no. You know what I ordered? I ordered potatoes O'Brien, bacon, and a sunny side egg.
Sunny side.
That does sound delicious still. I mean,
I only eat the yolk part. It's fine.
I know you
I don't
do.
like that's all I eat. It's the yolk. Can they just do yolks? Okay, that's a different question. That's a different show.
That's on our food show.
Here we go.
I'll remember that question for next week. I'll remember that for next week.
You gotta write it down.
Okay, so the guys are going back and forth. Punk goes to hit the go to sleep. And he doesn't capitalize. There was a spot in the match where Drew is carrying Punk on his back and he's going to touch the 4 ring posts and Punk is behind him, behind his back, touching the ring posts. I laughed so loud that I've watched so many strap matches and I love a good gimmicked match. I never thought of somebody doing something so stupid. But it was so well played out. I don't know. I've watched strap matches and they haven't had the red light and the green light involved. I don't know if it took away from it, but I certainly was distracted. But that's not unusual for me to be distracted during a wrestling match because of who I am as a person. There was a spot where McIntyre hit the Claymore, and I thought that every single fan in their seats were going to fall out and rush rush. Am I stuttering? Yes. Rush the ring because it was like finally somebody capitalized on their move. Because after all these failed attempts, all of a sudden this Claymore gets in and the fans erupted like something actually is good happening in the ring. But all in all, pretty good match. I mean, how many go to sleeps? 1, 2, 3 at the end.
And that's how you play red light, green light.
Wait a minute, you play red light, green light by giving go to sleep?
No, but like Red light, green light,
I have not
1,
been
2,
playing
3. You haven't been playing it the right way.
I have not been playing it
Yeah.
correct.
Cool.
Oh, and there were four go to sleeps. I only wrote 3, I think. But it was clear that they needed more to get McIntyre down than just the generic 1. And all in all, Punk wins, and I was wrong in my predicting. But
I was right.
I'm
Well,
gonna
to
be.
be
I'm
fair,
gonna.
Colin said it was going to end in a no contest.
Yeah, I thought that both of them would knock themselves out, or like both choke each
I
other.
don't think it. Yeah, I don't think it can unless they die. I don't think the match can end.
I'm not
until
opposed to
someone's
death. I'm not opposed to death.
dead.
What?
Before
But
you
I
get
thought-
into it,
But here was my
right,
thinking.
hold on.
Like,
Did you just say you're not opposed to death?
It happens.
okay, but what if like both of them choked each other out? With the
Yeah.
strap, and then they can't get up,
Well,
right?
someone will walk in with a smelling salt and they'll go and then get back up and go again.
That sounds
Wrestling.
wrestling. But like, how funny would that be if like they, they threw
they
up the
die?
X. No, they threw up the X. They both got stretchered out to the back, and then come Raw on Monday, and they're still fighting. Like, I would
No,
just,
they've still got that strap on their arms with 2 gurneys behind each other.
yeah,
They have to
I'm
go back to
into
back
it.
because the strap is
Let's
still there.
go.
Well, Bobby, before you get into yours and what you want to say, I want to say one thing as well about CM Punk, and it's going to be a quick thing, so I'll leave it to you. But it's nice to see CM Punk win in front of a full crowd with the hard cam side actually full as well. So well done, CM Punk.
Just has to take his digs like that all the time. Fair enough. Not much more to add. CM Punk scrambled Drew's, I'd say brains, but we're on an eggs theme, so he scrambled his eggs. And picks up a win. We know this is going to carry on because why not? This is the best thing to happen to these two guys this year. It's been a great blood feud, whether the matches are everybody's cup of tea or not. It doesn't matter because the feud itself has been red hot, and that's why they're going to continue to carry this one on. Now,
Thank you. Can I ask this one? Can we not call it that by that anymore? What the match was called?
A strap?
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
it's
want to
not
call it
strap
extreme?
on.
Extreme red light, green light.
Yes, we'll call it that. Call it the extreme red light.
green red light, green light. Okay.
Someone
Okay.
has named what the match was called. I haven't stopped laughing. So yes.
All right. Fair enough. Let's
Because I'm
move on from the extreme red light, green light matchup to the mixed intergender tag team matchup
Not happy
right
about
here. And this time, because she's not distracted.
Yay, Collins!
Listen, I've said this on multiple shows now. My nickname in college, not in college, in high school was SeaTac, which if you know, the Seattle Tacoma Airport is called SeaTac. And my name starts with a C. So everything, goes over my head. So my name. Oh, if you want more insane rambling, catch. Oh, that's my show.
That's why I'm pointing at it. I'd like you to promote our program.
Okay, yes. Tune in on every Thursday for Honor Rainbow. Listen, SeaTac Airport is not terrible. It's not one of the worst. There are worse.
Pittsburgh
but yeah.
Airport.
We can go on an airports ramble on next Thursday. But yeah, that was my name in high school was SeaTac because everything goes over my head. But this match,
trying to find her notes.
This match did not go over my head. This match from start to finish was so invigorating. It was like the most exciting night of my entire life. Like, I don't know, I won Christmas and the lottery at the same time because Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio, their love is no more. There is no more love. There is only vitriol. And I want to see that violence in a ring, right? So Damian Priest and Dominik Mysterio started. They circled, obviously, that height advantage, but not for long. We did get a really good Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan tete-a-tete. I don't know what to call. Basically, Rhea Ripley playing with her prey here. You know, it was very animalistic to me. That was like not in a sexual way arousing to me, but in like I want more violence. I'm a sicko kind of, emotional. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a feeling that you feel, and I just needed more, and I cannot wait until Rhea takes the title from her, because the title is rightfully hers. I mean, she got injured, and this should be hers. This should be her moment. All in all, I think I hate mixed tag team rules in WWE. I want more Rhea Ripley punching the ever-living shit out of Dominik because of what he's done, because that makes sense to me. I think that the intergender can go, a long way. And I think a lot of people have a lot of opinions about that. But I think in this match, it would have been really nice to see that blown off. But everybody loves Rhea Ripley. Everyone loves the ending. I mean, hello. She does it for us on purpose, does that roll up because it's great. I do have to commend Liv Morgan, because I feel like I used to just think that she was the third member of the Riot Squad, right? She was the least prepared wrestling wise. Remembering how she wrestled in 2018, it was just not impressive to me. It was very create a wrestler type of thing. But seeing her get better in the ring, seeing her come into her own, really know who she is, because I feel like there was a long time without the Riot Squad that she did not know who she was in the ring. And I really appreciate that she has put in the work. And yes, do I think that Rhea Ripley is the better wrestler between the two? Yeah. Do I think that Rhea Ripley could out wrestle both Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan in a paper bag? Hell yeah. Because both of them together don't equal the caliber that is Rhea Ripley. Oh my God, Mark. And Dominik Mysterio, I do not think can wrestle at all very well. I think that his talent did not move through the he's fine.
Dear
I just
God.
do not.
Are we can we go somewhere else now? This is getting the Dominik.
No one else
slander
talked
needs to
right.
yet.
That's
No.
okay.
Jimmy,
We can
you
go.
talk
We can
now.
go in a totally different direction. Watch this, Collins, as you
Yeah.
work.
Oh my God! Yeah! But I do think that Dominik Mysterio is really good at getting heat. I think that Liv Morgan is really good at getting heat. And I really enjoyed this mixed tag match. I thought if you're going to put a blueprint on how to do a mixed tag match, it would be this. So, STG is here. Hi! He's saying the same things that I am. But I like this match. It was probably one of my, probably second favorite of the night. So.
Yeah, and STG, you'd be right. He is a bit of a fanboy. Bobby, I go back to this because Bobby's been patient with this one. After WWE Bad Blood, this should be the last match between Punk and Drew. Yep, moving on. Perfect. So yes, sorry to interrupt with all that. Do I go to Mark next? No,
You go to
I
me.
don't. I go to Kimmy.
Now go to Kimmy.
That's me.
Mark, you can sit and wait.
Yes, I'm gonna take extra long.
No,
What?
for the love of God.
What?
I don't mean.
I like that
God,
we-
I mean for the love of Dominik. Sorry.
I love that we invited ourselves on this show just to be absolute menaces to society here.
Aren't we
way
always
to be.
menaces to society? This was such a fun match. Can we talk about when Ripley and Priest were making their entrance and Michael Cole's just like, you guys got to get in the ring now. Your match is starting. And then Wade Barrett's like, can you stop trying to poke at them? They're trying to focus. And Michael's like, I'm trying to do my job as a journalist. So funny. Absolutely amazing. Of course, halfway through this match, we were joined by the other members of Street Trash, Judgment Day.
I didn't even mention that part. Oh my God, we got to see Finn Balor. I love him.
Oh my God. And JD McDonough and Carlito.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Tried to help out Morgan and Mysterio, but it was not enough for the Terror Twins. When Ripley finally got her hands on Dom, crowd went absolutely ballistic. I think it was one of the loudest pops of the night, which was absolutely insane. Ripley pinned Morgan to set up their Bad Blood match, which I also think is going to be in a Hell in a Cell, where Rhea Ripley will get back her title. Thank you. I'll be here every Thursday talking about Ring of Honor.
All right. And next to talk about this match, it's me. You know what? It was so great to watch Mammy finally stomp that little cockroach, Dominik Mysterio, who, yes, he's gotten heat, but oh my God, can he just go away already? Yes, he can. Oh, and then there's Mark. Okay, Mark, I guess I'll let you talk.
I think the police need to get involved. That was utter assault on Rhea Ripley and the street clash. That is Damian Priest. Damian Priest couldn't even do it over the top rope without his leg getting caught. Dominik Mysterio never has that trouble. Dominik Mysterio is the epitome of pure perfection. The man can do anything in the ring. He can do anything out of the ring. The man is a ex-god. And not only that, he had 3 women fighting over him. His real wife, he had Rhea Ripley wanted him, and he had Liv Morgan. The man has got it all. Instead of that stupid, she deserves her title back because she got injured. Well, then you got another arm. Get on with it. No, you haven't. Well, then, done. You don't get the title. Liv Morgan deserved better than what she got treated. Dominik Mysterio needs to file for assault. That was utterly ridiculous. Dominik Mysterio, if you ever come over to the UK, you need somewhere to stay, I will always be there for you, my man. You deserve everything. You were, by the way, and I'm going to break character now, is basically what I will say about Dominik Mysterio is he has improved so much from when he first joined to WWE, where he's now, where the man can't even talk without getting booed. And not only that, he just walks into a room and does it. But not only that, the way that he does things outside the ring and doesn't publicize it about other people, with him granting those make-a-wishes and doing all those type of things, meeting fans and staying around. I saw a story the other day where Dominik was talking to these fans. They were trying to get tickets to go and see someone else, and Dom just stayed with them while the mum went off to go and get the tickets to go and see the others and spent time with them. Dominik Mysterio is the future of WWE. He is going to be the future of it. He will be, not anytime soon, I'm not expecting in the next year or two, but he will be world champion, and he will be he is just so, and this is me just breaking character. This is not me in character. I'm just loving the steps Dominik Mysterio's taking, and I like the way Triple H is sort of building him up, letting him go in there. Rhea Ripley beat the shit out of him, and he deserved it because he was a heel turned on a heel. And then Damian Priest, who was world champion, grew on me a lot. He's got a bit stale at the moment. I need something different from him, but I like the way Damian Priest is going. Liv Morgan is so beautiful when she's on that mic because it's so irritating, her voice, that it works to be a heel. And then all of it, I just think it all combined. I don't think Rhea Ripley gets that title back anytime soon. I think the cheating's going to carry on happening. The earliest I probably see her getting that title back will probably be Royal Rumble. I don't see her getting that title back this year, but things could change. I think if you want to build Liv up more and build this feud up more to the very, very pinnacle, you cannot do it anytime soon just yet. Exactly. He gets his chicken tendies, and not only that, Liv Morgan actually lets him play video games, unlike the other one. So, thank you, Liv. Anyway, right. I'm done.
You're done. See, this whole time you've been talking, Mark, I just had this image in my head of you taking the spot of Olivia Newton-John in Grease while holding a picture of Dominik Mysterio going, "Hopelessly devoted to you."
I will happily recreate that. Any day of the week. My Dom wants me to do that. My Dom will get it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right, then.
I really need to buy a Dominik Mysterio t-shirt. That's
I
next on
think
my
you
goal.
should.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to.
One of
He-
one.
he needs it.
And also, he has a deadbeat dad, and so is mine. So we have things in common.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
What?
And Ed saying that as Mark talked, all he heard was a monkey playing the cymbals. Yeah, Mark likes live more due to video games. It is questionable. It is a very questionable intake. But we find ourselves at the very end of the night, the last match, and I know I'm gonna have to kick him off stream like a whole bunch of times because this is gonna get way too out of hand. But we have got
No.
you're gonna behave yourself. You're gonna behave.
I'm going to behave.
Okay, because
I
I've been
don't
on
think he
strict
is.
order here to be
Yeah,
careful
I
about you
don't
here,
need
Mark.
the time limit. I'm going to be unbiased until the end about my assessment of this match.
Okay, Mark, would you like to have the floor first to talk about
Okay.
the ring general?
This is the best match Gunther has done in WWE. This is the best match that WWE have produced this year. I can't think of one better than this year. This was the perfect Ring General Randy Orton match. And I think the crowd were there for it as soon as they stepped out. And I'm happy for Gunther as well because he's very much, he is the German legend, very much so. He's one of the greatest exports that's ever come out of, even though he's Austrian, he moved to Germany, he learned his trade in Germany, he done everything in there. He won every single title and I think he is, in two of the companies in Germany, the longest reigning champion they've ever had. If I'm correct. I could be wrong on that. But Randy Orton, that's Randy Orton's best match he's done well before he had his surgery. And that's the Randy Orton we've needed for a long time. And I thought the way the match was done, and I think I was a little bit worried at one point. I thought they were going to make Gunther do the Sami Zayn route, like going, "Oh, I'm getting beaten up. Oh no," and then win. But it wasn't that. It was very much of, you know who Gunther is. You have to annihilate him to beat him. You cannot half-ass it. And I think Randy Orton did a very good way of the way that he does, slowly beating him down, targeting certain areas. And I want to point out one bit of the match that I really liked was when Gunther jumped off the top and landed on top of Randy Orton. He couldn't use his arm to lift the leg up. So he used his shoulder to use it. And it was like, that was the little bit there where the psychology of it, I went, oh, shit, you're really good of it. And then just the whole thing, the crowd with Gunther getting behind him, he deserves it. He has it. The best match Gunther has done since being in WWE. I think it's up there with the Ilya Dragunov match that he had, and the Pete Dunne Tyler Bate match that he had in NXT UK. But the thing and can we just appreciate, by the way, right? I'm going to appreciate him now. Ludwig Kaiser looked when he did his introduction to. Oh man, when I saw the hand come out to Samantha and the microphone went to him, and I will say this, I yeeted all over myself, fully and undeniability, right? It was
my
just
god.
absolutely phenomenal. I think whoever produced that match deserves to go into the Hall of Fame because it was so good, all of it. And obviously, we know that the Ring General is the greatest the professional wrestler, not sports entertainer. I think he's got a way to go. That's why he has Ludwig to do some of the stuff for him. But that is the greatest WWE match they've had this year, and I will asterisk that to say that was the best professional wrestling match of any company anywhere this year by far. Anyway, and I love you, Gunther, and Ginny as well. Your wife is an incredible wrestler, or was. But yeah, and I'm happy for him. I'm excited to see what's next. Do they go down the Ilya Dragunov route? Do they go down what other routes? They've got so many possibilities that they can go down now. But my God, I love it. Don't you dare put a thumbs down on my channel, you bitch.
All right. He's out of the floor. He said his piece. Now we're going to go over to
I
Kimmy and
was
find out what she
impartial.
thought.
Bobby, was I impartial?
You did a fair rant. Again, and I'll give my thoughts at the end. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. But it's Kimmy's time to have the floor now.
I'm so nervous. Oh my god. Okay. This was a little bit more technical than their
Someone
first
walk in.
match. And it took a little bit for the crowd to get into it. I don't think they were very happy when they started doing the wave. I immediately saw Gunther pissed off. Like you could see like him like whispering to Orton, like, fuck. Because he was so mad that they were doing the wave because they were distracted. And they like it was showing that the crowd wasn't really into it in the beginning. And I was like, oh man, this wasn't what we wanted. But then they got into it after a couple minutes, which is what we all liked. Gunther only took one RKO, and if you watch their promos on Raw, he said like, nothing's gonna come out of nowhere. I'm always ready. I'm always prepared. But he wasn't prepared for that one RKO that did indeed come out of nowhere. But this was
Didn't beat him.
okay. Yeah, I know. Randy did not beat
Didn't
him.
beat him, though, didn't
He passed out.
he?
He technically didn't even tap either. Not gonna lie. But yeah, this is okay. I mean, this wasn't really like my style of wrestling, but it did what it needed to do. And Gunther won, and they shook hands. And I thought Orton was gonna hit another RKO at the end and turn heel, but I guess this wasn't the show for heel turns because the one in the beginning didn't happen, the one at the end didn't happen. So yeah, now we move on to Bad Blood in October.
See where it goes. And T. Collins, your thoughts?
I don't have as many thoughts as the previous matches. Obviously, this had the obvious outcome to me, even though they have been hyping up, Randy Orton getting that 15th championship. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's on 14.
So I think having the wave really showed that the crowd was a little bit tired, which they'd only seen 4 matches, but collectively with how many, breaks in between, setting up the ring, watching different things. I don't, how long can you keep your attention span for? But it was really disrespectful, I think. And I definitely felt that from both wrestlers, how frustrated they were. But I think by the end of the match, I think they captured the audience once again. With the energy being so low and then going so high, there were a couple spots that brought them there. The first, I think, 5 minutes of the match, it was just wrist lock. It was a Randy Orton vintage, whatever that they say. Vintage Randy Orton when they do the RKO. No, it's the first 5 to 10 minutes is boring as piss. Like, you want to do a wrist lock, you want to do an arm hold, you want to pull each other into the corner. Okay, you're just showing me that you know how to do wrestling basics. It's fine. Set up the match, whatever. I know that the crowd is not into it, and I felt that because I really was not into it after the emotion and heightened excitement from the last 2 matches. When they started getting to the outside, I couldn't stop laughing because Randy was trying to pull the steps. We all know how the steel steps aren't exactly the most heavy thing, but the way that he was doing it was so comical that it was like, it's obvious that they don't weigh as much as you're trying to make it appear. But holy hell, the spot through the announce table. Anytime that there is something like that, I'm always looking for objects that are left on the table. And did you see what was left on the table? Someone left a freaking monitor on the table. One of those little handheld.
How dare they?
Ouch, that sounds painful. And I don't think that's on warranty. I don't know. You bring that to the Apple store. How do you tell that to the Genius Bar? Oh, sorry.
How do you tell the Geek Squad at Best Buy?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. A 6'5", 270, 250 wrestler slammed their body on it. So sorry.
By
that's
accident. I'm
by
sorry.
accident. Total accident.
Can you please give me a full refund and give me another one, please?
Okay. If they were truly the Geek Squad, they would appreciate pro wrestling and understand.
That's true.
You know what? You're right.
I really did like when I was listening to commentary that um, that Randy Orton, while Gunther is laying down outside of the ring, Randy goes back into the ring to roll in, to roll out. And commentary did mention, oh, he's doing that because you cannot win the championship by count out. He wants to win the championship so bad. So definitely liked that psychology. I noticed in the ring that the ring awareness for two guys that are over 6'5" is a little bit different than, say 5'5", female wrestlers. So there was a point where I saw Randy Orton go, move over to the left because he was too close when he was doing, his Viper thing where he slams on the mat, which was fine. I liked the ending. I liked that, Randy Orton, who is the legend killer, had to pass out in order to end this match rather than submitting. So all in all, it was a fun match. At the end, a slow to start, which I think the crowd felt. But Gunther does look really good. He does look well placed in the main title contention. I think beating Randy Orton does wonders for him as a title holder. I think that whatever comes next for him is going to be really exciting. So,
yeah. You again?
Yeah, I want to. I'm going to disagree with both of them on something. When they said that they didn't think the crowd was involved, I completely that is.
Why else do the
Europeans.
wave? Why
Because
else do the wave?
That's what over here. With the chanting that they were doing before, and then the build and the jump and all of that. That's the style that happens in Europe. That's what you call a football match, a proper football match, where you're chanting, you're getting the people inside of that ring, or as we say on the football pitch, getting getting them going, doing it. And that's exactly what happens in Europe. It's Bobby can agree with this.
Yeah.
That's a common theme across all of football, and the way we're brought up in Europe is you sing in the school, and then you go to a football match and you chant a load of crap for about an hour and a half. And when that match started, I could tell straight away this crowd was ready for it, and they knew it, and they were chanting Gunther songs when he was back in doing the independence, and they're doing the chanting of his favourite football club as well. I think it's Dortmund that they were chanting for as well, and I could just tell. And then there was a spot where Randy did the Mexican wave, and then he pointed at Gunther, and if you look at Gunther's face, he sighs smallly, but he smiles, and then they then get into it and do it. And I was like, okay, right, they're both feeling this now. They both know it. The crowd are getting it going. That's just full European.
See, now that I know that, like,
yeah,
I want to go rewatch it.
and see, and that's the testament to, like, again, for us, like, because we're fans of the sport and stuff like that, and we watch the European sports, it's easier to tell. But I'm guessing, like, for a North American audience that isn't into it as much and doesn't see that, unless you're going to have somebody to build that story on commentary or the understanding of it and stuff like that, like, it's great that you're sharing that now, Mark, because, again, like Auntie Collins is saying, I'd like to go back and watch that now that got that knowledge. That's where commentary should have cut in and had that knowledge for you and brought it in. But I understood it. Would I call it the best match of 2024? No, necessarily, but I'd also have to kind of take a re-look at all the matches across the board. I love Gunther, you know that. Orton, the same thing. These are two top guys that I appreciate the work of, and they put on a banger of a matchup. This whole card, despite being predictable, as many of these international cards tend to be, gave us 5 solid matchups throughout that didn't feel like the previous one. So I understand when you're saying about the audience live, that's unfortunately the part of being a part of the live audience on a pay-per-view, premium live event, TV taping, whatever it is that you do stand for unbearable amounts of time during setups and promos and all that kind of stuff. But the crowd was hot throughout, as many of the international crowds tend to be, which is fantastic. Again, I liked the finish a whole lot. This was a great way to finish this matchup. Randy Orton doesn't look like a chump by any means.
Yeah.
This was a great way to have him go out and looking strong, while at the same time, Gunther looks more like a badass that he's ever looked, if that was even possible. So kudos to them for this. This was a great premium live event. I enjoyed it throughout. I enjoyed every match. There was no downer for me. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to go right down the board. Overall, what did you think, Auntie Collins, of the entire card?
The entire card, I like 5. I think if they even squeezed in like a 6th, it would have been okay. But I think 9 out of 10. Great show. I like everything. So why not put it? I think out of all the pay-per-views this year, that's minus WrestleMania and SummerSlam and maybe Backlash, this is like number 4 so far for me for WWE.
Yeah, fair enough. Gimme overall thoughts.
I give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was good. I thought it moved fast. I don't think anything dragged. I don't think anything was cut too short. I think everything took the appropriate time. I think everyone that was supposed to win won. I don't think anyone is unhappy, except for maybe some people that were watching the press conference, because there were some things that went down as always over there.
Oh, no.
Listen, Jade, I will tell you, someone asked Jade about AEW, and she said, stop asking me about AEW.
She's not wrong.
I know she's not wrong. I 100% agree with her. But yes, I give it an 8 out of 10. Would highly recommend. I do not think that the main event was the best match of 2024, though. Yeah. Sorry, Mark.
Cody in a second here, Mark. I think they could have easily added Bronson Reed versus Braun match. No, they couldn't, because I can tell you why. The reason Braun was taken off TV is because he's in my homeland in Saskatchewan right now, filming the sequel to Deathgasm 2. So he has a cameo coming up in that movie, and some of my fellow friends in Prairie Pro Wrestling are actually going to be a part of a cameo where they take some bumps and stunts from Mr. Braun Strowman. So he was not nearly available for that particular matchup.
What an inside scoop.
Yes,
Okay.
I finally, after like 8 years of doing this, I have a legit inside scoop for once. Yay.
Isn't it the best feeling?
It is, I know. I've worked so hard for this one. All right, Mark, down to you. Your overall thoughts.
I think this is, if you take WrestleMania out of it, like the non-big 3 that you would say, this is joint with the French PLE for crowd reaction, the matches, everything. I would say this has been my favorite PLE of this year. I loved the crowd. I loved it feeling European. I liked that they was chanting throughout the whole thing. There was the ups, there was the downs. The audience in Germany did an excellent job of going forward. Gunther gets his hometown. Every match was brilliant in all of its way, of the way it was doing. Yeah, it was predictable, but at the same time, it needed to be for it to move the story forward to whatever they need to go for next. And I'm just excited what they do next. And it's great because, and I don't mean this no disrespect to America, but it gets to a point where there's so many of it that the crowds become boring. And when they go to, and I think WWE have done the perfect thing where they're now going around the world, going to different countries. It's not just Canada, America, England. They're now going to France. They're going to Germany. They're looking to go to other places. I think Italy's coming out next year. Italy's going to be one that's close to doing a deal as well. So Italy are fucking bonkers, especially in the as America's got a soccer sense of it, but in the football sense of things, the proper football, not the thing where you say it's football but you throw it with your hand. But it's great to see, and it's a good representation, because I do feel like when WWE finally do WrestleMania in London, that will be the hottest WrestleMania crowd of all time. And you don't understand that we have been begging for this. I will sell my whole family, bar my kids and wife, to go to WrestleMania. That's how
wow.
so many people that will do the same because we want it over here. We don't want it in the O2 Arena. It's fucking boring now. So we look. I'm excited for it.
I've never been to the O2 Arena. Why do people hate the O2 Arena?
Because they do it. That's where they come every single time.
Okay.
It gets a bit. It's the same thing every time.
They want
fit,
Wembley.
I think it's 15,000 in there. And
that's
it's
not
close.
enough.
O2 is brilliant, but when you go to the same venue over and over and over, they come in here in November. I think the live tour WWE are. I'm getting tickets for that, so yeah. But you can click that, and I will. They already know that. I've told them. So yeah, to me, this was a 10 out of 10, along with the French pay-per-view, the Puerto Rican one as well, when we've had that. All non-US ones, because the fans in the US just seem to die, and then they get a little bit excited and then die again. When you're with us, and because we're so grateful that they're doing it, we're just going. And because we've gone to football, we know how to go for a very, very long time. So that's my feeling on it, and I absolutely loved it.
All right. And I'm right with all of you. This is a great premium live event. Again, while predictable, still great. The matches were great. Everything unfolded nicely. It was wrapped in a beautiful little bow, and they did a good job. And they did some big business, which I'm happy to see. So definitely gets a passing grade, big recommendation from me as well, too. So now we are at the end. We are at the place where we say our goodbyes. So let's talk about what we got coming up. And we're going to start with Auntie Collins.
Me, what do I have coming up tomorrow? If you want to watch me talk about wrestling that made me cry, you can go over to Fightful Overbooked. Myself and my co-host Kylie are going to talk about all the things that made us cry. And you bet your bottom that I'm going to be talking about things from this show that made me cry. Not necessarily because of sadness, but because everything that I've stated here, I'm going to go rewatch now because I have time, because it's only 2:30 p.m. here in the Pacific
Must be nice.
Northwest. So I'm gonna probably make some lunch. I'm gonna watch more wrestling and get ready for Collision tonight. So I got lots going on. So lots of time to watch more wrestling. And then you can find me here on this channel every Thursday with Kimmy, sometimes Kyle, sometimes I'm pulling in other people like Ed, like Andre, like Sam. All these wonderful people want to talk about Ring of Honor, or they just want to talk about breakfast food, because we do talk about everything other than wrestling over on the Honor Ramble. It's such a great time every Thursday. Come hang out, and you want to, because or else.
All right, or else. Or else. Now I gotta get back to the banner part here so that I could go, Kimmy, tell them where they can find you, or else.
Ooh, you can find me on Twitter at Kimmy_Sokol. You can find me on Instagram at Kimmy.Sokol. Bobby, I said this morning. I don't know if you saw this. Someone made a fake Instagram account about me.
What?
Yeah.
That's uncalled for. That can't
I
happen.
know. My personal friends think I'm famous now because someone tried to make a fake account for me, and it only happens to famous people. So my friends were really happy that happened to me. I'm glad they care about my safety in life. So I have that going on. You can find me here tomorrow. Mark's going to interview me. If it's Sean Ross Sapp, oh my God. It's definitely not, because I texted him about it and he was laughing, but if it was Sean, I'd kill him. Anyway, Mark's interviewing me tomorrow on this show, or on his show. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm excited to see whatever questions he's going to ask me. You can find me on Thursdays here at Honor Ramble, or anytime I just invite myself on OLE, because I do that. I invite myself everywhere, anytime, any place, because I can. And I'm going to have a written review about Bash in Berlin. And thanks, Bobby, for letting me invite myself on your programming.
Oh, you're always welcome, just like Auntie Collins and sometimes Mark are always welcome on shows here at OLE. Speaking of Mark, hold on, I just got to flip through these. There it is. There's his credentials. All right, Mark, have the floor. What do you got coming up, my friend?
Oh, fuck me. So tomorrow I am with you, Bobby. We're going to be doing Point of View, talking about the end of the transfer window, I presume.
Yes.
And then the build up to the Reading game that happened today and we won. And then we will probably be building up to Manchester United versus Liverpool.
That will be crying as that match happens, yes.
But what I've also worked out, Bobby, as well, is when we're recording tomorrow, that game is on.
Yeah, I'm aware. I've got my dual screens going, mate. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, so will I. So don't worry about that. So I've got Kimmy coming up tomorrow. We're going to talk about life. If you've seen all the other interviews I've done so far, I've done one with Astrid, Andre, Ed, and Kimmy. I think that's all of them. And Melbourne as well. So there's 5 I've done so far. So basically, we go through questions about your life, and then I go around to individual people that may know you, and I get them to ask a question to yourself, or a little bit of like something they would like to say about you. So that will be happening tomorrow as well. And
what? That's so nerve-wracking. Oh.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous whatsoever. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So don't worry about that whatsoever. On Mark Talks Wrestling, we are very, very close to WrestleMania, which is the end of the series, and then we will be starting a new series. If you don't know, Bobby up the top there is the general manager of MLW, but he will be going to another brand and the start of the new series where he will be the general manager of TNA. Lauren Goodnight is the general manager of AEW, but I have said I'm bankrupt in AEW and I never want to talk about him again.
Oh my God.
She will now be moving to Japan to be the general manager of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the better one, the proper wrestling, not that other crap that's over there. And then on Mark Talks Football, I am currently, where am I when you watch this? Yes, I am currently in America with Inter Miami, managing them to try and win the quadruple. But there is one more trophy left of the season after that I have to win. And then I've got a new club and I moved somewhere in Europe. And on Mark Talks Gaming, I am replaying GTA 5 in 2024, and I've got F1 Manager 24. Create team done. Oh, I think that's all of it. Bobby, is that all of it? Have I said it all?
I'm hoping that's all of it, because we're going to move on from it anyway, regardless. And
don't forget to watch the preview show. Hold on, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern for Ed doing the preview to No Mercy NXT, and he's doing the post show.
I was going to get to it. And of course, that preview show is pre-taped, and Miss T, the marvelous Miss T, is going to be joining Ed and Astrid there for that one. And then, of course, tomorrow their post show is going to feature the Wrestling Classic. So you can enjoy those here right on the channel. And as for myself, Bobby Munson on the X, I am real Bobby Munson over on Instagram and Threads. Is at Video Bros SK. I do have a personal Twitch channel, Video Bro _ Bobby Munson, as Mark said, POV tomorrow, talking about the end of the transfer window there. You can always find me Saturdays, Prairie Pro Wrestling, calling all the commentary with my partner in crime, the man with the angelic voice, Papa Smokes. We have a new match every single Saturday afternoon for you over there. And of course, Thursdays, Ring Respect Radio, where Pop Smokes and I have been reviewing independent wrestling, talking about classic wrestling, as well as having interactive fun and games for you. But all those things can be found on the wonderful OLE podcast there at the bottom. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Give thumbs up, leave comments, and support all these wonderful contributors that we have joining us on screen all the time that we absolutely love and adore. Thank you, Bobby. It was a great post show. I agree. And CM Punk versus Drew Buried Alive match. Drew Barrymore match. That would be different.
Yes.
Anyways, it's obviously been a very long wrestling day, so we're going to wrap it up right there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you, and thank you to all you wonderful people for joining me here on the post show as well too. Take care, and we'll see you all soon.